Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we will be replacing the battery in this 8 GB iPhone 4 GSM version. This is a pretty nice condition iPhone 4, but unfortunately the battery swelled up and completely stopped charging after it was left on charge 24 hours a day by the actual owner of this device. This is not my device. This is one of my mom's friend's phones, and you can kind of see there it's kind of glared out, but if I plug it into an iPad charger, you can see not just any iOS logo, but the old school one. So we know that this is running an older version of iOS, and it is actually iOS 6, which is pretty cool. Again, the device is not mine, unfortunately. I am doing this replacement for my mom's friend, but this is still going to be fun anyway. So it will actually start up if I plug it into an iPad charger. So just giving it a second here, it will eventually turn on. As you can see there, it had a little bit of damage on it from where a screen protector was left on and allowed dirt to collect under it. That damage is permanent, but as you can see, it boots up and it is running iOS 6, going into general and about, well, actually software update. It said unable to check because it wasn't on Wi-Fi, but you can see it has Pandora, which is what it was used for. It was used for the store audio of the owner. She runs a little store, and this was just left plugged into a dock all the time and just let to get the battery absolutely killed. And yeah, it registers as 100%, but I've already removed the battery because it was actually pushing the back cover off the phone, which is not good. And as you can see, opening it up, there is no battery, but I've got a new one in, and we are just going to be replacing it. Replacing the battery in the iPhone 4 is extremely easy for an iPhone. It's probably the easiest battery replacement process of any iPhone. So yeah, we're just gonna get started now. So here is the old battery. It's not very obvious, but you can definitely see that it has swollen up, and yeah, it holds absolutely no charge. There's an app on there called Battery Saver. It could do nothing to save the battery. I gave strong warnings after replacing this to not leave it plugged in all the time anymore, or the new battery will become just as cooked as the old one. Alright, I've got this. Yeah. So I did purchase a new battery from iFixit because they make quality iPhone batteries that, in my experience, last just as long as the originals and don't just swell up after a few months like off-brand batteries that you can also buy. You also get a packet of stickers every time you open a new box from them, which is pretty nice. I have a handful of them now, and I do use them. I generally leave one of the little ones inside each device that I repair, and yeah, that's just one cool thing that they do. So let's get the actual battery out of the package now. Alright, and here it is. It comes with a little card about battery calibration and all that stuff. That's normal stuff. You obviously have to charge and then discharge the battery for it to really have proper calibration. And yeah, this battery, even though I gave warnings about it, I'm guessing it's just going to end up left on charge all the time. It's really out of my control. I did give strong warnings not to update the device, which I doubt she would. It just needs to be used for Pandora Radio, and Pandora Radio, an older version of the app, still works on iOS 4 last time I checked, so I mean, it definitely will probably keep working for several years until the phone just gets old enough that it's finally replaced from active use. So I'm just using this little file here to cut into the package because I couldn't find my scissors. And here is our new iFixit battery. For some reason, the pull tab and adhesive was installed upside down, but that part doesn't really matter. So now we just gotta get it in there. So peeling back the plastic, we can see the battery. Yeah, again, a bit weird with the upside down tab, but that doesn't affect usability at all, obviously. I do kind of find it funny though how it still says what do these say, like authorized service only, which is kind of funny coming from a pro right to repair company to still add that crap on their tabs, but whatever. We obviously know that you don't have to be an Apple certified technician to repair an iPhone, as is clearly shown by Apple even at this point announcing their self-service repair program. So yeah, I just got stuck in there. It's a very easy repair. I had already gotten the old one out, which is half the battle, honestly. I found these tabs, they break very easily. Sorry for the bad camera frame in this part, I just didn't notice. I am still pretty new to making these like Hugh Jeffrey style repair videos, so I got it plugged in and tested, and the phone did boot off of the battery, which is great. I still hadn't gotten it sealed in the phone because I obviously want to make sure it's working before I do that. And there we go. It has booted up off of the battery, and I was able to verify that at least it did start, so I just shut it down again and got it ready to be sealed back into the device. So I used the file again to disconnect the battery. Probably should have used a plastic tool in hindsight, but I didn't fry anything. Now, one thing I found I have to do with pretty much any replacement battery is to actually bend the little cable there into place, because it's always just a bit too long and has to be bent to fit, but that's just part of the manufacturing process of these battery cells. So after that, I can get it sealed into place. It was a bit of a tight fit, but once it was in there good. I did check to see if the old battery was shorter, and it was, but it was also a tiny bit wider, so in the end, it evened out in size. I did have to remove it back out because, again, the little cable connector just wasn't quite perfectly bent correctly yet, so it would fit. So I did have to do that again. But I got that sorted out and eventually was able to get the battery seated in properly. And finally, I can pull the plastic film over the adhesive off so that I could get it properly secured in place. I personally don't see much use for the tape or for the adhesive that holds the batteries in place. I would just use screws or a couple of brackets instead of dealing with adhesive, because that's better for right to repair and all that, and it just makes the phone easier to repair in general. You don't have to deal with a risk of accidentally puncturing the battery while having to pry it out, not if but when the stupid tab breaks. So I personally actually do prefer the newer adhesive tabs that Apple uses, because while they still break a lot, I have only had one of these come out actually properly just using the tab, and even then I did loosen it up with some isopropyl alcohol before securing the battery in place. And by the way, what I'm doing right now is removing a couple bits of old adhesive that I forgot to remove before putting the new battery in place. So I'm just getting it ready to be put back in. Again, I'm sorry for the terrible camera framing in this, but I still wanted to get this video out anyway. It seems at this point I finally realized the bad camera framing, but now I got all the old adhesive off. I was finally ready to insert the new battery into the device. So I just have to place it in, and press in the connector. Sorry about the bad focus. My iPhone 7 Plus that I used to record these videos has been having autofocus problems lately. I'll get a new phone next year. It's fine. Alright, so it is now secured into place. Now I just have to screw the little bracket on the battery connector into the phone just so it doesn't come disconnected, and obviously so it's all factory. And then I almost forgot, but I did remember in the end to install one of the little fixed stickers on the back cover of the device, so if anyone were to open this back up in the future, they'd see that someone's been in here. And with that, when I was using some isopropyl alcohol to get the old battery out, that little piece of whatever that is came off. Obviously the adhesive didn't do well against the isopropyl alcohol, so I just put that back in place. It's probably not that important. I didn't secure it on with any adhesive or anything, but I just made sure to put it back in there. Then I just slid the back cover back into place, and just like that, all we were left to do was install the bottom two pentalobe screws, and we were done. And side note, the iPhone 4 was the first iPhone to use the dreaded pentalobe screws that are pretty much designed just to inhibit repair to people who don't have special toolkits built to replace parts inside of these phones. It's a real shame that they didn't just use a more standard bit like Torx, but nonetheless, my iFixit kit has the proper bits, so I was just able to screw them back into place, and we would be done. And just like that, we have a iPhone 4 running iOS 6.1.3 with the badly focused display there. So it does work just fine, and I returned it back to the owner the next day. And yeah, iOS 6.1.3. The software update, don't want to go there, but yeah, pretty nice to see one of these phones on an old version. When I first got my 8GB iPhone 4, it's the CDMA version on my device. It was running iOS 6. I foolishly updated it to iOS 7, but at least that one can be downgraded. The GSM version can't, but now I'm just going to take a toothbrush and do some final little cleaning. Parts like the speaker and microphone grills at the bottom, as well as the mute switch, just get really dirty on these devices, and I wasn't able to get it perfect, but it was certainly better. And I just like to do stuff like that when repairing devices, especially devices that I'm repairing for someone else, just as one of those extra touches to make just a bit of a better experience. And yeah, much better. And so that's gonna be it. If you enjoyed this video, I've got a couple of other battery replacements. They're not voiced over like this one has been, but I think they're still good, so you can check those out. And I did show the software version there, but I didn't focus the camera, so you couldn't actually tell, but I believe it was running 6.1.3. And as you can see, battery saver clearly didn't save the battery. Write a review? I guess it would be useful, but nothing can prevent a battery from dying if it's just left plugged in all the time. So, thank you all for watching. I will see everyone in the next video, and have a good day. I'm out. Peace.